So hopefully everyone should see my presentation now. Like Aaron said, we have a lot to cover today, and I'm really excited that this release is now in market and in our customers' hands. So like Aaron said, my name is Taylor Fulton. I'm the product manager for the MarketDirect platform. And if you would like to download the new release highlights, there is the QR code that Aaron mentioned. So I'll give everyone just a second or two to scan that before we move forward. As Aaron said, we're gonna.
Thanks, Taylor. I was getting some messages there that indicated that wasn't on screen when I said it was. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that again. That's the QR code I wanted to share with you, everyone.
Very good. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to spend most of our time going through the new feature highlights with MarketDirect StoreFront version 12.0. We'll then have some contact information at the end if you want to send some feedback to our team or have additional questions. And then, as Aaron mentioned, we have a poll question, which I'm very excited to get feedback on, where we'll be raffling off either a set of AirPods or a gift card. So all very exciting. And then at the very end, we'll do a Q&A for any of the questions that have come through in the chat. So our agenda for today consists of 4 primary new features in MarketDirect StoreFront version 12. The first is our MarketDirect Fulfillment Rentals and Reservations module. This is an optional licensable module on top of our MarketDirect Fulfillment product. I'm very excited to introduce rental products into our e-commerce platform. We'll then talk about Smart Canvas VDP and multi-record job production. We'll talk about our Smart Web Designer for transactional emails and how we're further extending our MarketDirect cross-media technology into MarketDirect StoreFront. We'll discuss Smart Help, which is our new tool to further modernize our documentation and product training within the storefront application. So we're sort of dipping our toe in the water in this new digital experience in version 12. And so we'll talk about what that roadmap looks like moving forward. And then we will not talk about all the new enhancements today, but if you look at the release notes and that QR code that Aaron sent, there's probably another dozen what I would classify as minor enhancements that don't rise to the top for a presentation like this, but certainly there's some things that might help you in your day-to-day workflows. So MarketDirect Fulfillment Rentals and Reservations module. So if you remember, just about a year ago, MarketDirect StoreFront version 11, we launched our MarketDirect Fulfillment module, which was aimed as a very intuitive, streamlined pick and pack solution for customers that were doing pick and pack fulfillment for their customers. And we've had a good reception from the market since we introduced this a year ago. And a lot of the feedback has been, we have to have rental products. We have to have rental products because it's such a headache to manage not only the inventory, but the pick and pack workflow from end to end. So what the rentals and reservation module does, it introduces literally rental products within your MarketDirect Fulfillment storefront and allows buyers to rent those products in the same e-commerce fashion that they do today. And then on the back end, it supplies a workflow for you to not only distribute those items to trade shows, events, whatever type of event might be for that customer, but also return those items into inventory once the event is over. And so, as I mentioned, they're really ideal for type of trade shows and conferences and the type of events we really haven't been able to get to the past year. But now that things are opening up, more conference and events are happening, we're really excited to get this to market in our customers' hands. In terms of the workflow, if we look at it in 4 simple steps, in MarketDirect Fulfillment version 11, we had this concept of managing inventory and provided a very streamlined workflow through the software to be able to map out your warehouse and organize your products within the shelves that you have in your different locations. So that holds true for rental products as well. That workflow really remains the same. And step 2 is where it starts to get a little bit different. So in our in our fulfillment products today, we have the ability to give it a name, a quantity, a weight, pricing. That's all in the application already. But what we don't have is this concept of time periods and how something is rented based on time periods. So for instance, I might have a monitor that I rent out and price based on week allotments. I might have another product, maybe it's a banner stand that I sell day to day. And so those different specifications can be set at a product level. And then when we get to step number 3, those timelines can be shown in a direct storefront where somebody can come in, enter the dates that they need the inventory, see what's available, and then go through the standard e-commerce process. And step number 4 is that final step in the workflow where, again, something's been ordered, and through our Ship Express module, you can print out a shipping label. You can distribute those items to an event or a trade show or a conference. And it also includes a return label so that that recipient can send those items easily back to the warehouse. They then are returned to inventory. So I do want to mention that return label aspect or feature does come with Ship Express. And so that's really the key to making this an automated turnkey solution, is adding that shipping solution at the very end that allows really you to manage the process much more easily, both from your own internal perspective, but as well as your recipients of the inventory. I'm going to jump out of the presentation just for a moment and do a quick demo on the buyer side for this workflow. So you can see here that I'm logged into our Bira Brewing site, which is our demo storefront for all things Bira Brewing products. You can see that I actually have a category specifically for event and rentals. Now that was done for this specific demonstration. And really the reason I wanted to show this was because you could have event products or rental products in the same storefront as you have your other e-commerce items that are just sold in a traditional manner. You could also stand up a storefront that is only event specific. So you really have some flexibility in terms of how you want to mix and match products within your MarketDirect fulfillment storefronts. If I drive into the category, you're going to see that I have some traditional event products. So I have some banner stands, I have a kiosk monitor, I have a folding literature rack. And right now, everything is showing on the page because I haven't selected an event date that filters when these items might be available. So if I click into this form field, I'm going to get a date range that shows when I need these products. So let's assume that I have a conference starting tomorrow through Saturday. So I'm going to go ahead and click apply. And you can see now that one of these products is no longer available. So this inventory has been depleted for that time period. And so as a user, I can see it within my catalog, but I can't order it or move on to the checkout process because it's unavailable. If I go back to my form field and I change these dates to say Monday through Friday of next week and click apply, you're going to see now this product is available. So it must be coming back into inventory by that time period. And by hovering over it, I can see there's 5 items available for that specific event. So I can go ahead and, just like I do today, put a 1 in my quantity and go to buy now. And I'll go ahead and go back and put one more item in there as well. So let's see. I also want to have this monitor. So I'll go ahead and put 1. And now I'm taken to my shopping cart. So you can see here in the product descriptions, we've actually added some data that shows how these are priced. So the price per unit of measure is $135 per week. So in this case, this product is being priced per week, no matter how many days it's rented. So if I go over to the price and hover over, you can see there's a standard flat preset charge of $15 and then a charge of $135, which represents the 1 week timeline. If I hover over my pop-up stand with monitor, you can see it's priced $124 per day, and the duration is 5 days, which is the rent date that I have selected in the UI here. And if I hover over this, you can see again, I have a preset charge of $11 and then a total charge of $620, which is just simple math, $124 per day times 5. So from here, I proceed to checkout just like I normally would. I'm going to enter a delivery method, do FedEx overnight, and I'll save this shipping address. And so you're going to see the UI looks very similar to how MarketDirect StoreFront presents products in the shopping cart today. What's different is I have this event details line at the bottom where I can specify the name of the event. So let's say EFI Trade Show 2021. I need it from Monday, June 28th to Friday, July 2nd. So this is viewable but locked because at this stage, that event has been set and I have products in my cart based on that event. What I can identify is when I need these products. And so if you've ever been to a conference before, you always know it's a hassle identifying a specific day or even hour when a product needs to be delivered to a warehouse or a hotel or wherever that event might be held. And so what's nice is I can come down here and within the UI, select the date I need it to arrive. And so that could be today, it could be tomorrow, really any of these days leading up to when the event is. And so if I have to have it in the warehouse by Saturday, I can click on June 26th, click apply. And that's been set here now in the UI. And from here, I just check out like I normally would. I can proceed to payment. And just like we have with MarketDirect StoreFront and Fulfillment today, I can pay via credit card or a purchase order or a number of the payment gateways and accounts that we have. So very streamlined with our current workflows, but really optimized for those rentals and reservations products. All right, so I'm going to bounce back now over to my PowerPoint. Go back to presentation mode. And let's talk about Smart Canvas VDP. So again, very excited about this as we've been working on it for some time now behind the scenes. We've had the Smart Canvas online design tool within StoreFront for approximately 5 years. And what it supports today is mainly single record VDP, as well as dynamic online design. What we're introducing now is concept of multi-record VDP composition. So and before this module, if I was doing a single record job, I would go into a business card, I would input my name, my contact information, identify how many business cards I want to order, and then I purchase that one set of business cards for myself. And if you're doing this over and over again for many individuals, it can be a tiresome task. So what we've done is through multi-record VDP, you can now upload a data source or even link to your MarketDirect StoreFront address book and process multiple business cards with variable data for each. What's really cool about this is, unlike other applications, there's no additional desktop software needed. It's simply our Smart Canvas online design tool today, built in HTML5. We've just added this multi-record component onto it to add some variation and really more robust workflows to our Smart Canvas editor. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how the licensing module works for just a moment. So our long-term vision is that Smart Canvas is our design tool of choice within the MarketDirect platform. We took our first step with the Smart Canvas InDesign plugin back in October, and Smart Canvas VDP is our next step in that direction in terms of being competitive in the variable data market. Customers that already have Smart Canvas today, there's nothing that you will need to do. If you're using Smart Canvas only for single record or only for online design, and you don't need multi-record VDP, then there's nothing really for you. If you are, and you are interested in multi-record VDP composition, Smart Canvas VDP is an optional module that you can buy and simply turns on the multi-record functionality within the application. Second to that, we also have a plan to deprecate our MarketDirect or EFI VDP module within the platform today. And we're tentatively scheduled that for October of 2022. So if you have the MarketDirect VDP module and you're using our former Direct Smile designer, you will automatically get Smart Canvas VDP with the 12.0 upgrade. And our recommendation is that you start putting templates that can support Smart Canvas today, templates that you need EFI VDP for, whether that's more advanced text and font effects, whether you're using JavaScript artwork rules. Some of those features have not been incorporated into Smart Canvas VDP just yet, certainly on the roadmap for the next 12 to 18 months, but there might be some templates that you want to keep in MarketDirect VDP and use that Direct Smile designer. With that said, now I'm going to jump over to my browser again and go through a quick demo of a couple products. I'm going to log in. Let's try that one more time. All right, so I've logged in as Taylor Fulton, and I have two Smart Canvas VDP products within my catalog. First one I'm going to start with is just a simple business card. So you can see in Smart Canvas VDP, the buyer experience is very similar. So you see the personalization in the job details panel on the left, and you see the Smart Canvas interface here in the middle of the screen. In this specific example, I have variable data both for single mode, so single records, as well as batch mode or multi-record. So you can see that really the page one is where a lot of the multi-record content or records will come into play in terms of variable data for this person's name, title, contact information, and even a small headshot. At the second page, this is really more single record, where I can change one of these variables for all of the cards, but they won't be different for each record. So I'll start with page two. So you can see that I have the option to choose a couple different logos or images for this business card. In this example, maybe I'm ordering business cards for my Baltic Lager division. And so I want to add that here. You can see that I can still click on this and I can change the size. I can move it around. So even though we're doing design for multiple different records and cards, I still have this ability to design within the canvas just like I do in Smart Canvas today. So maybe I want to change this to be completely visible and move that over just a bit. All right. Same thing with the website. So maybe instead of StoreFront Brew, I want to say StoreFront-lager.com. That'll show directly within the canvas here. And these two assets will now be set for each of my business cards that I'm going to order. If I now go into batch mode and scroll back up to the top, you can see now with this version data dropdown, I can select to either upload a data source or use my company address book. If I use my company address book, it's going to open just a few contacts that I have in my address book today. So I have myself, I have John, who's our brewmaster, and I have Randy, who is our print operator. Simply by going to mapping, let me actually select the data first. Select myself, John, and Randy. Mapping, I can now compare the data source name with the variable data name. For the most part, these will be automatically filtered. So if it's first name and first name, the software knows that those should go together. Sometimes the name's a little bit off and you have to manually come in and just select here. So I'll go phone number and scroll down, phone number 1, go to address 1, zip code, and fill form. And now you can see this data has been submitted here. The reason there's not a headshot is because within my company address book, I don't have an image tied to this profile. So in this case, I might just want to come in and delete that. And now I have a pretty simple business card. And when I navigate to each record, you can see that content changes on page 1, but the page 2 content stays the same. All right. If I close out of this product, and we're going to take it one step further, and I go back into the same product, we're going to use a file upload now and show a couple of different variations of Smart Canvas VDP. Right, so I'm going to leave my page 2 the same with this logo and this URL. I'm going to switch over to batch mode again. And by clicking on the version data dropdown, I'm going to select upload data source. I'm going to choose a file. And I'm going to click upload file. And you can see that I've just uploaded 746 records for this job. If I now go to mapping, I'm going to go through the same process that I just went through. So I'm going to manually select the items that were not automatically transferred over, state, zip code, and then for the headshot and background color, I actually have data within the CSV file that I've uploaded to support these data source fields. So I'm going to select picture, and background color automatically got brought in. I'm going to click fill form. Give that just a second to load. And you can see that I've now not only brought in the text variable data for each business card, I also have an image. And if I navigate to the next record, you can see that the background has changed. And this is simply based on a layer switch that I, as the designer, have created behind the scenes, and then tied that layer switch to each individual record within my CSV file. So you can see as we navigate here, we have personalization not only for the name, contact information, and the text within the business card, but I have image personalization here through headshot of each record, and then I have variable background based on that layer switch. So pretty dynamic in terms of the different things you can do with variable data for so many records. What's also cool, and I kind of showed this when I was playing around on page 2, I can continue to design within this canvas once I've imported that CSV file. So as a user, if I come in and I have my 746 records, and I like the business card, but it's missing a QR code. So I can come in here and grab this QR code, put in a URL, and move this to the bottom right corner of the page. And now if I go back to the next record, you can see that QR code is translated each record within my job. All right, so I want to walk through one more example of Smart Canvas VDP using our AccuZip direct mail workflow, which again is another step kind of further in our journey. So same product, Smart Canvas VDP, but this time the administrator has set a product level setting initiating our direct mail workflow that's powered by our AccuZip integration. So what AccuZip provides is a few things. First, it provides a way for customers to upload a data list. AccuZip then cleanses that data list against their own records, and so provides a more accurate list for the buyer to process. The second workflow is that it actually provides every door direct mail or EDDM campaigns for North America customers. So I should point out that this AccuZip workflow is specific to our North America customers. And so if you're familiar with every door direct mail, you'll know that by simply selecting the carrier routes that you'd like, you can target direct mail campaigns to every individual or mailbox within that carrier route. The third use case with the AccuZip direct mail integration is that you can actually purchase a list through the product checkout, so that if I'm designing this postcard, I can target individuals within a specific area, by a specific income, by interest. All of this data AccuZip has kind of rounded up and made available for marketing campaigns through this integration. So that's one thing we're really excited about with Smart Canvas VDP, is it allows our customers to not only process multi-record jobs in this design online, dynamic design online within our browser-based application, but it also has this powerful direct mail workflow that our customers can take advantage of and really make it easy for buyers to purchase campaigns like this. So if we think about, you have a customer that is a realtor, and they have a new bungalow on the market, and they want to promote this house to specific area codes around this house. So it's by simply going to batch mode. So I have some default data here in my single mode. So great little bungalow, this won't last long, so on and so forth. We can keep all of that the same, except maybe we'll change enter call to action to open house. The other thing I want to point out is we have this new little feature called text frame. Initially, if you wanted somebody to edit kind of long form text, the best way to do so was to make it editable within the canvas, like you see here. Click on this little icon and then edit it within the editor here, which works fine. But as a buyer, it's not always intuitive that I have to go into the canvas when I'm working mostly within this personalization panel here. So what we've done is simply invoked this text frame from the personalization panel. So rather than having to go in here and click on the text frame and then going to edit, I can simply click on this little icon, and that text frame will open automatically, where I can now update the text. House come by on Sunday. Okay. And now this text gets inputted just like it would normally. So again, just a little shortcut for buyers to be able to edit text frames without going onto the canvas itself. So now that I've set my single record data, I'm going to move over to batch mode. Look out of here. All right. And if I scroll down, my version data drop down again. You're going to see there's additional options for use EDDM or every door direct mail, or purchase a list. So in this case, I'm going to use every door direct mail. And this is where the AccuZip integration loads into our MarketDirect StoreFront UI. So from here, I can identify a location, whether that's the address of the house itself, or the zip code or the city that the house is in. So in this case, I'll put in 30350, which is here in the Atlanta area. And then you can see I can select specific carrier routes right from this map. So if the house is right where that pinpoint might be, maybe I want to select that carrier route to target for my campaign. From there, I simply click Process List, and our product, MarketDirect StoreFront, makes a call to AccuZip to gather this data. Now, this can take a few seconds, as sometimes, depending on the number of records, it takes a while to process all of that data and send that every door direct mail code back to StoreFront. So we'll give it just a minute to load here. While it is loading, I'll mention that the list purchase workflow is almost the exact same as what I've showed here. The only difference is instead of showing that map and selecting carrier routes, what you're doing is identifying the target audience that you want to mail your campaign to. So again, selecting where they might be, some demographics such as income, age, or interest. All of that can be done through this workflow. And then once it gets to this stage, again, it makes that call to AccuZip to gather the data and input the variable data onto your postcard or print product. So we'll just give it another second or two. All right, so we've created the Every Door direct mail list. We've done a pre-sort of the addresses, and now we've actually generated a postage cost for this campaign. So 1,016 records and a postage cost of $227.58. And then I'm going to go to mapping like I've done before and map this against the data source. I don't believe we have an address 2. So that should be it. Let's fill form. And this is only going to show a preview of 25 records because there are so many. But you can see here that now I've got this Every Door direct mail code here. And you notice that the postal customer, the city, and the zip code remain the same. And that's because Every Door direct mail campaigns don't have an individual person, right? It's just an address. In this case, it's just a carrier route. And so those records will remain the same with the exception of this little barcode up here. I know we covered a lot there with Smart Canvas VDP, so I do encourage you, if you have questions or would like additional details, please send those questions into the chat. We'll certainly try to get those today. And if not, we'll get to them following the webinar. I'm going to bounce back to my PowerPoint for a moment, and we'll talk now about Smart Web Designer. So Smart Web Designer is a technology that comes from our cross-media product. And if you take a step back, about a year ago, we launched an application called Auto Engage, which is an optional module within the MarketDirect platform that allows you to create very robust, dynamic, automated marketing communication campaigns. So things like abandoned shopping cart campaigns, promo code campaigns. And essentially what we did is took our cross-media email marketing technology and facilitated it within the MarketDirect StoreFront database. So we've taken this now a step further in our 12.0 release, and we've introduced the same Smart Web Designer for transactional emails. So those are the automated emails that both your users, operators, print shops get, as well as your end buyers. So things like order confirmation or order status has been changed, things of that nature. Previous to Smart Web Designer, most of our customers were either using just text-based emails, so no imagery, no logos, or basic HTML. So maybe there was a logo header and a static image, but we felt that our emails could look a lot better. And with Smart Web Designer technology, we had a clear path to do so. So this will be a core feature within the product. There will not be any additional fees or licenses to use Smart Web Designer. When you go into your email settings after the 12.0 deployment, you should be able to create these emails and apply them to the different notifications that you're using today. What's cool is that just like with Auto Engage, we've created a template and a theme that allow you to get up and running very quickly with these very branded, professional-looking transactional emails. So there's really no HTML or CSS skills required. However, the email designer itself is the same email designer we have within our cross-media product. So if you are a bit more technical or advanced, or you want to stray away from the theme that we've created, you can do so using a pretty robust skill set and tool set that we have within the Smart Web Designer. So again, I'm going to jump back out to my browser. And I'm logged in as an administrator. So if I go to administration and emails, email settings, there we go. Click on email notifications. You can see that in this format column, I've already assigned a few of my transactional emails to Smart Web. So again, previously it was either a radio button for HTML or a radio button for text. Now I have this Smart Web option. Right, so if I scroll down, let's pick one that has not been set yet. So maybe this order status has been changed. So let me go into that email. And like I said, you'll notice that this new radio button appears for Smart Web. If I click that, it's going to take me out as it's saving that Smart Web Designer behind the scenes. And you can see now that I have a little preview of what my email theme looks like. I can either open and edit that theme by clicking on the link or actually just clicking on the image itself. So once I go into the Smart Web Editor, this will open in a new tab. And again, this is the same email designer that we feature within Cross Media today. So a pretty good functionality in terms of customizing this theme. But again, we want to make it easy for most of our users to edit this without any advanced skills or spending a lot of time. So we have a template with a logo at the top, an image in the middle. And then we've brought in some variable data from the subject line, the customer name, and then whatever message you have in your existing email is automatically being brought into this template. So theoretically, if you wanted to keep everything the same, but maybe just switch out the logo, you could do so by simply clicking on the logo and then going to upload images and selecting whatever logo might be appropriate for this specific email. In this case, I'll choose our Orbit Prints logo. It'll get added to my gallery here. And you can see I've easily switched that out within my theme. So again, I could either leave this picture the same or I could switch it out just like I did that logo. And then if I scroll down to the text fields, more than likely I'll probably want to keep my subject line pulling from the current email as well as the salutation. But maybe I want to customize this a bit more than what I have today, in which case I would simply delete it. And then I could simply start typing. So dear, let's say Taylor, your order status has been changed to, but I want to pull in now a variable that says exactly what that status is. So if I right click, you'll see I can set a variable. And let me find the correct variable to choose from. So one thing we've done as well is we've added more variables to the library. So really just based on customer feedback, we've identified that certain variables weren't in the right emails. I can't find exactly what I'm looking for, so I'm just going to go ahead and use customer title here just to show you what it looks like in the UI. So again, your order status has changed to, typically it would say whatever status it might be. In this case, I'm just using customer title as a placeholder, and then I can continue to write some text. Please click the link below to view more. And then again, I could right click, go to variables, and select my order confirmation page URL that would take the buyer to that order confirmation page within MarketDirect StoreFront. So again, I'll repeat one more time. We do have all the same tools within our cross-media email designer today. So if you don't like how this looks and you want to maybe take out this image, you can do so very easily. And by simply taking some of the assets we have at the top, so another text box, maybe you want to re-put in an image. All of these things can be done as placeholders within a template, and then you can edit within the Smart Web Designer here. All right, so I'm going to go back to the presentation for the last time now. And I want to introduce Smart Help. So Smart Help is a new technology we're introducing into MarketDirect StoreFront that is powered by a product called WalkMe. And what WalkMe does is create an overlay on top of our administration UI and provides really modernized documentation and training. So our long-term vision is that rather than you going to maybe the admin guide and reading through hundreds of pages of information or searching for something to find a workflow that you need help on, that we would provide in-app training directly on the page that really walks administrators through specific processes. So that can be something as simple as processing a job within the operator view, or something more complicated, such as setting up pricing and media, or some of the more advanced workflows that we have within the product today. So again, that's really a long-term vision and something we're working on with our documentation team here. What we wanted to do in 12.0 is not only introduce Smart Help and get the technology within the product, but also give our customers a taste of the new features that come with the release. So hopefully when you log into MarketDirect StoreFront 12.0 for the first time, you're going to get a little splash screen that says new features. And by clicking through that workflow, it's going to introduce you the new features that we reviewed today. So the MarketDirect Fulfillment Rentals and Reservations module, Smart Canvas VDP, Smart Web for transactional emails. And it's just going to give you a quick description of what those features are so that you're aware of them. Once you've gone through that workflow, we've then put a little button on top of the administration page to where you can click and review those features at any time. So if maybe you logged in for the first time and you were busy, you hadn't had your first cup of coffee yet, and you just closed through that Smart Help walkthrough without really reading through it, and then a week goes by and you remember that EFI talked about this Smart Canvas VDP thing and what was that, you can go back to that new features button, read a little bit about what Smart Canvas VDP is, and then hopefully reach out to us for more info. So again, it's more supposed to be just educational at this point, and we hope to really make it more usable in the future with those dynamic walkthroughs and training materials that I've discussed.
We are going to switch over to Q&A now. I'm going to fire off a few of your questions to Taylor. First question is from Alex, and the question is, how or is the rental and reservation module integrated at this point into Monarch?
That's a great question. It is not integrated into Monarch at this time. We are working MarketDirect Fulfillment and integration with Pace. That's something that will be available later this summer, but we have not tackled the other MISs that we have in our EFI portfolio just yet.
Okay, very good. Where can I find more information about optimizing InDesign files for Smart Canvas?
We do have some instructions that we can probably send out to you. If you go to EFI.com and to our installers page on the MarketDirect platform section, there is a link to that Smart Canvas InDesign plugin. And in the instructions PDF that comes with it, there is a list of supported functions and features. Now, this is a good question, and one thing I didn't mention is that with Smart Canvas VDP, we are looking to optimize that plugin over the course of the next few releases to really play better with more complex InDesign files, supporting form fields, and some of the things that we have not accommodated yet in our current version of the plugin. So every time we have a new release of Smart Canvas, I would encourage you to look at that plugin page and download the new plugin, because we are adding new functionality and adopted features with each release.
Will there be a conversion tool to get existing VDP products into Smart Canvas?
Yeah, another great question. At this time, we do not have any conversion service or feature that allows you to convert either EFI VDP templates or other types of multi-record templates such as XMPy. So really our approach right now is recreating those in Smart Canvas. The good news is that through the plugin, Smart Canvas InDesign plugin, you should be able to import your existing InDesign template into Smart Canvas and then really put some finishing touches on the design that aren't supported between the two VDP editors. So what we found is that most customers' templates, that workflow works pretty well. In some cases, you might have to do a little bit of recreation.
Okay, thank you. Next question from Robert. Can you use a multiple column data source as well for multiple multi-record sources?
So if the question is if it supports multiple columns, yes. So you could have a record for your first name, last name, address, so on and so forth, and through a CSV file, that would work fine. If you're talking about uploading multiple data sources, so I have one CSV file, and then I want to bring in another CSV file or another data source, that is not something we support today. So it's really it's one data source, whether that's a CSV file or a company address book or something else.
What is the maximum number of records?
Yeah, we get this question a lot. There's not a hard number on the number of records. We have tested up to about 20,000. And the more you have, the more time it takes to load on the page as our product processes all the data within that source. So it might take a few minutes if you get up into those 10, 20,000 range. What we found is past 20,000 will at times throw an error. And it's something we're looking to expand in terms of supporting 50 and 100,000 records, but probably are not quite at that point with our 12.0 release.
Very good. Regarding Smart Canvas VDP, are we planning to add support for JavaScript rules?
We are. So there's certainly some gaps between what we have in EFI's MarketDirect VDP module today with our Direct Smile tool. JavaScript artwork rules is one of them. So over the next 12 to 18 months, we'll be working to prioritize that on our roadmap and support JavaScript artwork rules within Smart Canvas.
Right. Graham is asking, does AccuZip support Canadian addresses right now?
I believe it is just U.S. addresses. We can verify that, but to my knowledge, it's just
I believe that's accurate. Yeah, I think that's true. And we've got time for just a couple more. Jeff has asked, now that Smart Canvas has VDP, which allows images to come from a data set, can non-VDP Smart Canvas templates access images via a URL?
Not within the Smart Canvas application. So those images do have to be imported into a gallery and set by either the designer or the buyer. So Smart Canvas VDP is supporting that through the data source. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. And there was one question which I thought was great for clarification that we'll take from Steve. When you were showing Smart Web Designer, is that included in the base storefront package, or is it only available with Auto Engage?
No, it is included in the base MarketDirect storefront package. So when you are upgraded to version 12 and you go to your email settings, Smart Web will be activated by default. None of your emails will be moved over automatically, so you'll have to go in and select which emails you want to move over to Smart Web. But every customer will have access to that. Auto Engage is an optional module and something that is an additional license.
Thank you so much. And unfortunately, we have run out of time. Taylor, thank you so much for today. And thank you to all of our audience for joining us. We're very glad you took some time out to check out the latest release. And we hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thanks again, Taylor.
Yep, thank you, Aaron. Thanks to all our guests. And looking forward to your feedback.